Alright guys, just a few more days and we'll be through the entire month. We're going to get started day 27. Psalms 23 verse 6. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Here's verse 6. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. David had seen a lot of things in his time, as both shepherd and king. He fought giants and armies, and had felt his share of heartache and loss and betrayal. As the youngest of his father's children, he felt the hurt of being treated as less than and not enough from his brothers. As the young warrior giant slayer, he felt the hatred from his soon-to-be father-in-law Saul. Even though he had done a good thing for the nation of Israel by killing Goliath, Saul hated him, even to the point of multiple attempts to kill him, because David was getting all the praise for his victory, and Saul was extremely jealous. Even after he became king, David felt the heartache coming from losing some of his kids to anger and strife, as well as his newborn, a kid born out of direct sin with Bathsheba, his wife. Despite all these challenging times, David was still referred to later throughout the Bible as a man after God's own heart. How? How could David keep his eyes on the Lord when his life was full of trial and tribulation? Because he recognized that despite it all, God's goodness and mercy surely followed him all the days of his life. David had spent his life in prayer. Bored out of his mind watching dumb sheep, he prayed. Practicing his slingshot skills, he prayed. In the times on the run from Saul, or Absalom, or Joab, he prayed. Now that is easy to do when life is hard, but David didn't stop there. After killing the giant with a rock, he prayed. After every victory, he prayed and thanked God. Upon surviving the murder attempts and finally becoming king, he prayed and rejoiced. What can we gather from this life lesson? How does this help us when life gets hard? God's mercy and goodness followed David because in all circumstances, David kept God first more than anything else, no matter what was happening around him. Throughout his life, David had been through it all and lived through it all. God wanted to remind him that he carried his servant all the way to his death as an old man who had accomplished everything he set out to do. When life comes upon us in hard, heavy-hitting waves, God's goodness and mercy are always there, right behind us. These things don't stop the waves from hitting, but they support us and keep us on our feet so we can continue to press through the trial. Mercy, compassion, or forgiveness shown towards someone whom it is within one's power to punish or harm. Goodness, the quality of being morally good or virtuous. Unfortunately, in life, a lot of our troubles in life are consequences of our own actions. A path we follow that takes us away from God's trail. A decision we make that contradicts God's plan. In these times, God, who is still a loving, good, and just God, sweeps in, and instead of knocking us down, he picks us up, places our feet on his solid, holy ground, and brushes off the crud and filth we may have stumbled into. By his goodness and mercy, we start every day with fresh anointing, covered in God's love, with the mistakes of the past behind us and a brand new day before us. Because of Christ, when we mess up, God no longer looks down on us with shame or despair. Instead, by the blood of the perfect sacrifice, we are now covered under the forgiving power of Jesus, and thereby have access to the fresh mercy that comes with every new day. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Lamentations 3:22 and 23. Well, we've almost made it to the end of the month, and I pray that you continue with me as I go on this journey. We'll see you tomorrow.